This is a video update on the population crisis. So if it's going up 2 billion in 100 years, and then 2 billion in 50 years, and then 2 billion in 25 years, next will be 12.5 years. That's what we have to be worried about. What if it gets down to 1 year for 2 billion people? That means in 100 years we'll be up to over 100 billion. So we have to be worried about the population crisis, even though Elon Musk lies to us. Elon Musk totally lied. He's so rich it doesn't bother him. He doesn't know what it's like when egg prices affects you. You know, when, oh, you can't eat eggs twice a day because they're now $6 a carton. You know, a lot of people have to budget. Elon doesn't have to budget. Anybody on a budget know what it's like to be hurt by the economy. He's never been hurt by the economy. He's too rich. There is a population crisis. Russia killed 1 million of its troops, and they're still killing more of them. Ukraine lost 1 million troops, and they're still forcing people to the front lines. You know, why not surrender? I feel like Putin's forcing them to fight, or somebody's forcing them to fight, and they're fighting for freedom. But I would like to remind you that our freedom was replaced by minimum wage. You know, or our slavery. Slavery was not replaced by freedom. Slavery was replaced by minimum wage. So minimum wage you cannot survive on. You cannot get a job at McDonald's and get a house. You know, you might get lucky somehow and do it, but no, you need a lot of help. Minimum wage is unsurvivable. You need like 5 people just for an apartment. And some people do that, but I'd hate to do that. Living in like a group home, that's slavery. You don't even have enough to eat. That's totally slavery. So their freedom, what was their freedom, or what was their government being replaced by? Ukraine. Because it was Ukraine's fight for freedom. A lot of people don't even know that Ukraine was fighting for freedom, and it was a huge deal. I watched the video on it. There was a video, I believe, on Netflix about Ukraine's freedom. Everybody should watch it because they're fighting for freedom. But, you know, a lot of times you should just break the law instead. Instead of killing 1 million people, why not just let people break the law here and there? Change your laws a little bit. But that's where the war started. They're not allowed to join NATO and join free countries. But yeah, so there is a population crisis. It can be solved by orbit farming. The orbit farms can take off and they can expand, and they can produce 2,000 pounds of potatoes and then land, and then they can be harvested, and then they can refuel and get more water and then go back up after the 4 months. And they can land every 4 months to drop off the potatoes. How many ships do you need to feed a state full of people? Probably thousands, probably not even millions. You probably don't need 2,000 million tons. You probably don't need, yeah. All I'm saying is, rather than try to build to the sky, vertical farming, people think you can just build these huge buildings, and I'm like, that'd be a modern marvel. I've never seen a building that big. You know, they can't just build them the way these people think they can. People are told, oh, vertical farming's the answer, and everybody just says, oh, vertical farming's the answer. You can't build a building that huge. It collapses. Especially with that much water and soil in it. All right. So the main topics of this video are, there's a population crisis. Everybody should, be careful and use birth control and really want their kids, because if it's going up 2 billion in 12 years, we should all be worried, because then it might go up 2 billion in 6 years. And we can solve this by orbit farming. We don't need to go to war and kill each other to solve the population crisis. We can orbit farm instead.